Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Brakatham. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. It's Brother Doc back once again with another live lesson. As always, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Brakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Today we're going to continue in Jeremiah chapter 7. Right, going into the Hebrew, we left off at verse 15. Right, as you can see, this is the table of nations. Right, you have the nation of Israel, which is the 12 tribes, which consist of which are the Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. You got the so-called white man, Edom. In the ancient Hebrew tongue is Adawam. You got the so-called the East Indians, the Elamites, which is Ayalam, Assyria, Ashur, Syria, Aram, the Arabs, Yashamai Allah, which is known as Ishmael. You have the so-called Chinese, which are the Moabites, Mawa'aba. So-called Japanese, Aimwan, which is Ammon. You have the Egyptians, Matazarium. North Africa, the Put, Pawat. The South Africans, Canaan, Ka'anan. Turkey, Gomer. Russia, Magog, Greek, so on and so forth, right? We are in the latter days. Yahweh Bashim Shai has woken up the remnant of you Jakes to receive the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that has been hidden for over 2,000 years, right? In the land of our last captivity, America, Babylon the Great. The RFID chip is the mark of the beast. The Most High is going to bring great destruction, thermonuclear fire upon America, Babylon the Great. So we're here to edify and to gather the remnant. 2/3 of you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, you're going to be coerced into taking the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. Right, you're going to perish when the Lord brings hell, right? The third woe, which is also known as World War III. The Most High is going to scorch the earth, right? So the scriptures say that right, the elect will not be deceived in these latter days, right? But anyways, we left off at Jeremiah 7 and 15. We're going to continue verse 15 and on down, right? Shalom to you, sincere Akim and Akwath, right? And we're not going to make the introduction too long, because that's what these other camps do, you know. Double honors to the 24 elders. You got some brothers saying that, like, come on now. Or they just say double honors, you know, double honors to the elders of Israel. Who are the elders? You gotta understand that these men are scared. You know, they have and Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, who you call Jesus Christ, he said that you shall know a man by his fruits, right? So we're giving you the volume of the book, starting with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Hebrew Israelite camp, right? We give you the Most High God's name, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash, right? It's not Jehovah, not Yahuwah, Yahweh. Bashem means in the name in the ancient Hebrew tongue, right? Like I mentioned in the previous video, right? You got the Aramaic script, right? Which is the modern day Hebrew. You got the Phoenician, which is the Lashawan Quadash, right? And then you got the Proto uh, Sinaitic script, right? So we're going to go into lessons within lessons, like Elder Pastor says, right? So let me see if I can do this real quick. All right. So let's see. Right, so you got Slovakia. You got the I, which is represents an ox, a lap, which also means chief, right? That's this one right here. You got and it also means 1,000. You got Ba, which is Bayath, which means house, right? Ba, right? Because that is a house. You know, you got what's called floor plans. When you go to check out, let's say, you know, a brand new apartment or whatever, you know, which is looks similar to that, right? And so that's Alap, Bayath, Ba, Ga, which is Gamal, which means camel. The symbol here is a foot, right? Uh, Gamal also means to wean, to reward, right? So this is the you know, it's called the Proto-Sinai script, right? Then you got Da, which is represents the door, which is in the Hebrew Dalath. All right, Abagada, Salakia. Ha, that means breath. Wa means tent peg, and two was that means nail or security. Za means weapon or threshing instrument, right? Um, which is that word is Zayan, I believe, right? Cha, which uh, which just means a fence. The symbol is a fence, right? Um, Ta, that is the symbol for basket. And Salakia, let me get rid of this or see if I can clear this. I'm not sure how to do that. Clear. No, I'm bugging. Okay, clear. No. Salakia, just bear with. All right, so we're back. Um, so let's see. Right, so it's A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ha, Ta, Ya, which is Yad, right? Which the symbol is a hand, right? Um, Ka, which is palm. In the Hebrew, it's kap. Uh, you got the La, which is a staff, uh, and which is where you get the word lamad from, meaning to teach. Ma, which is where you get the you know, I'm not drawing on them. This is actually represents water, you know, right? Mayam, Na, seed, right? Which would actually be drawn in this manner. Salakia. Let me I don't know how to do this real quick. Right, so we're back. So it's actually so you got the ma. Okay. Let's see. Salakia. Bear with me 1 second, Akim. Just trying to get adjusted. Just bear with me 1 second. Salakia. All right. Just trying to situate myself. Whew. All right, so we're back. Okay, so you got the ya, which is yad, kalamana, which is this symbol. I mean, it's a seed, perpetual, representing perpetualness. Which is where you get the word nawan from. Means progeny. Okay. Then you got sa, which is the symbol for a bush. That word for bush is sana, right? A, which is a eye. Ayan is how you would spell it in the Hebrew. Pa, which is mouth, right? Um, Taza, which means side, or ta, uh, Tazan, which is where you get the word Tazan from, which means flower, right? But this symbol represents a crop, right? Kwa, representing sunrise, right? Looks like a little stick figure wearing a hat. Um, Ra, which is it means head. Shah, meaning teeth, which is in the Hebrew shan. Tha, which is the last letter in the Hebrew language, which means covenant. Looks like a cross, you know. But anyways, so let's continue. All right. And so you get the point, right? So let me just lay it out for you real quick, in case you want a little practice, get your little practice in, you know. And we'll go over the other scripts another time as well. You know, you got a, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, a, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, tha, right? Which is the tha is like, you know, not a Christianity cross, an even cross, you know. But anyways, let's get back to the lesson at hand. This is Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 15. Right? And so Lord willing, you're edified. Jeremiah 7 and 15. Or Salaki, we left off at verse 20, right? I don't know why I thought we left off at 15, you know. And this is a good chapter because the Lord is right, reiterating what is constantly mentioned throughout Scripture, that it's not all about the carnality of the law, right, or the works of the flesh, like Paul the Apostle used to say, right? Those that glory in the flesh, right? St. John chapter 1 verse 1, right, where it says it wasn't by spirit, it wasn't by. Let's get that real quick, you know, just so you get an idea of what is going on, right? So these are things that are mentioned throughout Scripture, right? This is why Yahushua had to come, which is you have Yah only Hebrew Israelites. They don't believe in Yahushua. You know, they don't believe he was written in the Old Testament, the volume of the book. You know, but they're clearly they're unlearned men. They're not learned in the Scriptures, right? They don't read. They don't have the understanding, right? So let's get that real quick. The works of the flesh, right? Those that glory in the flesh. You read about that in the Book of Romans as well, where Paul the Apostle said that Israel had not attained to the righteousness of God because it was by their own merits, something to that extent. So let's start we'll start at verse 1, right? St. John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's talking about the only begotten creation, Yahushua HaMashiach, right? The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made, right? In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness to that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him. The world knew him not. Here's the point, right? Verse 12, but as many as received him, or let's start at verse 11. He came unto his own, and his own received him not, but as many as received him, right? And that was supposed to happen. Yahushua had to go to the Jews, which is these over-righteous Jakes that were still um, in the under the Roman captivity, still in the Holy Land during that time, right? And it says, he came unto his own, and his own received him not, right? And you have other examples when Yahushua spoke about, he said, I came not to call the righteous, but the sinners, right? The 99, he came for the one sheep that was lost, not the 99 who were not lost. That was an example that he gave concerning the Jews that relied on the law to justify them, right? Which that was never the point, right? Then Yahushua came on the scene, reproved them, and he said, who the hell is this guy? Where did you come from? We've been keeping the laws, you know? So that was supposed to happen as a testimony, in order for that account to be recorded, you know? And then there had to be a commission to go to the Israelite foreigners, the Gentiles, which were of the same nation, right? Gentiles are not other nations. That's the same nation according to the seed, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, right? The children of the prophets, right? Which is via the line of the chosen, right? And so you had Jake back then. Jake is short for Jacob, right? Which consists of you, which are Israelites, which consists of you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, right? That were in the Roman captivity, but they kept the Roman customs, the Greek customs, because of a persecution 200 years prior via Antiochus Epiphanes and those that followed him, those that followed after, right? So fast forward 200 years, you have Paul the Apostle, Yahushua came on the scene, you had Paul the Apostle teaching his various churches, you know, and he had his hands full, like I brought up in the previous chapter, right? And but here's the point. Listen up. He says, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. Right? So the Lord never cast off Israel forever. The Lord never said, okay, well, you know, thus it is written, you know, the some of you will follow after the Greeks and the Romans. That's not written. And you're not allowed back. No, the Lord always said, return unto me, O house of Israel, O Jacob. Right? Did not Yahushua HaMashiach say that, and to the city of the Gentile not, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? And preach, saying the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is at hand, right? So that's the message throughout the whole book. It was never about sacrifices. That sacrifice was a future pattern of the grace to come via Yahushua HaMashiach, right? Which is why Paul the Apostle, I believe that's Romans chapter 7, where he says, the free gift, which was the Lord gave the ability via the law for Jake to repent, offer up a sacrifice to atone for sin, right? And we still have grace now in the form of Yahweh Shai, which offered himself up as a living sacrifice, right? So you see the scriptures add up. We're not, pulling it, our own doctrines. We're pulling the like Yahushua said, the doctrine is not of me, but of God. So we get the doctrine from scriptures, right? But you got brothers in other camps conflating scripture, introducing their own wayward doctrines, right? A whole bunch of madness, right? So it says, so those that received him were the Israelite foreigners, Gentiles, so they could return, right? Them that it starts with a belief, right? And then action, like it says in Romans chapter 4. Abraham believed, and then there's an action behind believing, right? So we're not telling Jake, okay, all you need is the Lord's name and forget the law. We got grace. We're good. No, that's not what it's talking about. The ability to give a sacrifice to atone for sin, that was we're not going to say done away with, because Yahushua said, I came not to do away with the law, right? It was amended, meaning what? Yahushua came and, he did his thing, Now we're doing all our thing via what? Offering ourselves as a living sacrifice, which is a reasonable service. That's all it is. It's not super deep. It's not, you know, like they want you to think in the world, you know, like other philosophies, burdens upon burdens. You got some of the small hats. They'll make little acronyms when they read the law. Okay, well, bayath. Okay, we're gonna break down the letters, and then we're gonna, it's not that deep. Okay, bayath means ba, meaning in, ya, meaning yad, hand. Okay, ba yad, tha, in the hand of the covenant. Ooh, whoa, oh my God. No, it's not that deep. You know, you got these the small hats. They got their authority is not the Torah, right? They got their other written texts, which it's not relevant to uh, um, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. They have particular commentaries that they make, and so-called um, what is it? How can I say it? Estimations concerning the law, right? But some of them texts it's wicked when you go into it, you know. So they don't got the truth. The truth is the prophet Isaiah said, "You cannot mate; none shall want her mate," meaning you can't mate this book with another book. The end all be all is what the Lord said, and that's it. You know, there's no okay. Well, what about you got um, the Book of Jubilees. That's not canon. That's confusion. You got the Apocalypse of Abraham. You got all kinds of that's not the Lord. The Lord is not with that. You know. So here's the point. Again, here's another point. Salakia, which were born out of blood, right? So just because you're not all Israel is Israel. Salakia, like Paul the Apostle said, just because you got the fringes doesn't mean you're in the right mind. You're in your right mind. Because you got Jakes wearing fringes and going to each other's camps and fighting each other, like you had that scuffle with IUIC and ISUPK. You know, but the fringes, really, the Lord said, circumcise your heart, not your garments. Right? They didn't look at them fringes and say, well, look, you know what, Ak? The law says we got to remember when we look at our fringes not to go after our own heart. Salakia, brother, you know. But they didn't do that. So them fringes, you know, the fringes is in your mind, it's in your heart, it's in your action, you know. Which is we don't, you know, starting with those and apostles of Great Millstone. We're not approaching other camps, you know, and having shouting matches, confusion matches. You know, we're not here to debate the truth. The truth is not up for debate. Which is why it says, nor of the will of the flesh, you know, because you got other nations, you know, as much as you keep the law, that's fine. We have nothing against that. But at the end, you small hats don't really keep the law. You know, you're doing your own form of you know, ism, right? And that's all you heathens ever did. Slap a label on it and, you know, call it something else. You know, ism this, ism that. You know. So it says, nor of the will of the flesh, right? Paul the apostle said the works of the flesh. You know, and so on and so forth. There's other accounts, right? So let's say Jake sold out and keeps the law 1,000%. That's not going to save him if he has no understanding. You know. Plus, if you sell out, you lose your moral. You gotta cast away your bowels, like the scriptures say, which is your morals. You know. So nor of the will of man, right? So it's not because, you know, oh, you know, well, I got the biggest camp and, you know, I got the biggest influence. No, it's not about popular influence, who's got the shiniest garment, right? It's about, do you have the true doctrine or not? Do you got the true understanding or not? So what are you gonna do, Jake? What are you gonna do? All right. So it's part of the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? It's not the will of man, you know. And there's other scriptures that say that, but that was the point, you know. That's what this chapter is about. So listen, okay. Jeremiah 7:20 says, "For so thus saith the Lord God, behold, my anger and my fury shall be will be poured out unto the place this upon man and upon beast and upon uh the tree of the field, as in the trees of the field, and upon the fruits of the ground, and shall consume it, and it shall not be quenched." Right? Which reads, Lakan ka Omar Adanya Yahweh Hana Abya Wa Hamathia Nathakath Al Ha-Makwam Haza Al Ha-Adam Wa Al Ha-Bahama Wa Al Aitaza Ha-Shada Wa Al Parya Ha-Adama Wa Ba'ara Wa La'a Thakaba. That's what the Lord is going to bring when He brings the destruction upon you, Jakes. Because you're going to take that, the charagma, you know, the Lord's fury, you know. Like it says in the book of Isaiah, Jake says that the day the Lord, uh, the day of the Lord is prolonged. You know, it is not nigh at hand. The vision is not nigh at hand. You know, in the book of Malachi, Jake used to say, "Where is the God of judgment?" You know, in the book of Ezekiel, it says, Jake has said that the Lord has forsaken the earth. You know, upon man, beast, right? Like we're gonna keep saying the same thing. We're not gonna switch up. We're not gonna change the doctrine. You're not gonna hear a new thing. There's nothing new under the sun. Wherewith they may say this has not already been done. And I'm not trying to rhyme, but you know, the book of Ezekiel, the Lord, the vision that Ezekiel saw, he saw an angel. The Lord, it was a destroying angel. The Lord commanded it to put the mark upon those that sigh and cry for the abominations thereof that happen in the midst thereof, and those that do not utterly slay and destroy. Which is, we're not going to take up arms. We're not preaching none of that. All we have is the scriptures and our faith. We have no power in this society, right? That is our faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? So what does it say in the book of Ezekiel, right? Utterly slay and destroy, right? The book of Psalms says that what? Uh, that we're gonna have a two-edged sword in our hands, right? Sing upon our beds, right? That's talking about the scriptures, right? Our bed is the scriptures. What we're singing is a new song, which is the understanding that has been hid for over 2,000 years, right? You read that in the book of Revelation, right? To execute vengeance on the heathen, which is not via, right? Yeah, the scriptures say that we'll be willing in the day of the Lord's power, but that's after the Lord brings his wrath, right? After we were changed from uh these filthy terrestrial bodies, which are subject to sin. We get the terrestrial bodies when spiritual power, which is not what you would call today, you know, because you have spiritual power, so called, on the left hand side, but we're not dealing with none of that. We're dealing with the light in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which is the gospel, which is the prophecies, right? So yeah, we're gonna get power, but you know, that's after the Lord brings his wrath. Then we're gonna be set in our own land, beamed up, and then set in our own land. We're gonna round up you, whatever devils that you damn devils that remain from World War III, which is mainly gonna be the elite. The other nations, a lot of the even the other nations, they're gonna be decimated. Scriptures say that there shall hardly be a man to till the earth. Right? So we're not. What can we do? All we can do is watch and pray that we live to see the coming of the Son of Man, Hamashiach Yahushai. That's it. Ain't a damn thing we can do that the Lord uh, uh has commanded, or that has not commanded us. Well, He has not commanded us. We do what is written, what the Lord commanded us, which is preach the word, call upon my name, wait upon me. You know? So yeah, this you read scriptures like you dash the children upon the stone. That's not gonna. We're not gonna. That's first off. If we were to do that, that would be wicked in the sense that we're trying to overpass. We're trying to go above what the Lord said to do. The Lord didn't say do none of that because we and the Lord's gonna bring the missiles, and the missiles are that's a dashing instrument. 2/3 are gonna. That's how 2/3 are gonna be destroyed, and you other nations, right? And what's that? The thermonuclear fire, right? So it's not, that's why the scriptures say that. That's why Yahushua said, they shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Ye unprofitable servant, ye slothful servant. We're supposed to be, we're watchers. We're supposed to watch, compare, contrast, right? That is our work, which is a labor in the word, in the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right? But you got, it's crazy because I watch these other camps, and a lot of their intros, they look like a damn paramilitary group. And we're not. We don't deal with none of that. All we got is our Bible in our hand, and that's it. But you got ISUPK, they got bring weapons to camp. ISUPK looking like they're about to go to war. IUIC marching, right? That's off. Clearly, there's an agenda behind the action of these men, right? There's an agenda involved in what they do. But anyways, Jeremiah 7:20, or 21, lessons within lessons, Salakiak, I'm getting excited, you know. So let's move on. Jeremiah 7:21, which reads, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, your burnt offerings, gather them beside your altars and eat flesh. Let's look at that word. Sapah. To scrape together, to sweep away, to snatch away. The Syriac says to collect, to pick up, which is where you get the word, sometimes it's read Yasap, or which is where you get the name Joseph from, right? Or Asap, Yasap, right? So it reads Ka Amar Yahweh, Tazba'ath, Alahaya Yash'ala, Alaf Yakam, Sapwa, Al Zabak Yakam, Wa Akal Wa Bashar. And what is the Lord saying? Well, this is twofold because he's talking to you, Jakes, that think that the law is going to keep you from um is going to save you. No, but and you're not, you follow the law, so called. Well, you don't, because you got brothers in IUIC, they got shape ups, and And there's other things, you know. We can nitpick all day, all night, but at the end of the day, it's what you say. That's why Yahushua said, I believe that's Matthew chapter 5, unless you exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees, thou shalt in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven. Well, the Pharisees were perfect. They like Yahushua said, they tithe um the cumin and you know, but they neglected the weightier matters. The weightier matters is executing true justice, which is in the form of what? Putting away hypocrisy, right? And that's why the Lord said, lest your righteousness exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees. So he said, you're supposed to keep the law, but don't, you know, go beyond what the Pharisees did. Go above and beyond. Do that, you know, which is what he said in Matthew 25. Do like they say, not like they do, you know, not according to their hypocrisies. That's why he said, lest your righteousness exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees. So you're supposed to be keeping the law, and you're supposed to be um, having equal weights and measures. That's being justified in your sayings, right? And that's ultimately the whole point. So that's how you know the voice of the Lord, you know, and that's a recurring theme as well. The voice of the Lord, which is his servants, his men, starting with the elect, you know, with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, you know, because like I said in the last video, I'll be damned if these men are elders that have been laboring for decades upon decades upon decades. If they're not the elect, then who is the elect? You know? So you got order in this thing, you know? So the Lord said, put your sacrifices and eat flesh. So again, that's twofold. He was talking to these Pharisees. Okay, keep doing what you're doing, whatever. Right? Which is the point. And that lines up with Matthew 25, Matthew chapter 5, Isaiah, I believe that's 65, where it says, he that offers swine's flesh is as if he slew a man. That's talking about being justified in what you do, you know? So this is twofold again. He's talking to the elect and he's talking to you so-called jakes that think you're justified just because you're so-called keeping the law, but you don't even know what the charagma is. You're not warning the people. Thus, not fulfilling your the work, the point, the reason why the Lord placed watchmen over Israel. The Lord called the watchmen to watch and to warn when the sword cometh, right? To blow the horn, right? And so on and so forth. Come on now. Verse 22 says, because I did not speak unto your fathers, and I did not command them in the day which I brought them out from the land of Egypt, upon the matters of burnt offerings and sacrifice, right? Basically, it's saying it's not all about that. Yeah, that's part of what I commanded, but the Lord is saying you lost the point went straight over your head, which reads Kaya la'a the bartaya ata apatayakam wa la'a tazayatayam bayam ha tazayaya atham ma arataza matazarium al-Dabaria Allah Wazabach. Verse 23 says, because lo unto the matter this I commanded them to say, hear in my voice, and I will be unto you a God, and thou will be unto me for a people. And thou shalt walk in all the way which I have commanded unto you, on account of that it should be well with you. Which reads Kaya am Atha Hadabar Hazah Tazah Yathaya Atham La Amar Shemaiwa Ma Qualia Waha Wahaya Yathia Lakam La Alahayim Wa Atham Tahaya Wa Laya La'aim Waha Wahalaktham Wa Halaktham Bakal Hadarak Ashar Taza'a Athakam Lama'an Ya Yatab Lakam. So that is the voice of the Lord. Is you don't even, at the end of the day, like I said, we're not going to be here forever to try to get you jakes, to warn you and try to get some damn sense in you. We're not going to be doing that forever, because the famine of the word will come eventually. And your only guide is going to be what you heard, what you read, what you studied, right? Like scripture say, the guide of them to keep my commandments, right? So really, we're obsolete when it comes to this. After we get the message out, you know, the Lord don't need us after we already preached the message. So it's already there, right? And like it says here, all the ways that I have commanded you, so that it may be well with you. That means the volume of the book. All right. Jeremiah 7:24, which reads, and they did not hear, and Salaka, and they did not hear, and they did not incline unto their ear, and they went in the councils and in the imaginations of their heart, which that word sharar actually means to plaid. Let's look at that word. Sharar, to twist, right? It's another way to say in the perverseness of their own heart and in your own counsel, your own mind, right? Evil, harai, and they uh went backwards, which would actually read, which is wa yahayawa la har, which would literally read as, and they became as one to turn the back, because that's what a har means, to turn around or to go backwards, right? And they did not turn, or Salakia, yeah, as in they did not turn back from their ways, which reads Wala'a Lapanyum. Panya means face, but Panya also means turn. Like if I say, right, turn unto the Lord, it would be Panya Ha Adawan. Which would actually read, and they did not turn before him, right? Which in the translation says they went backward and not forward, you know? Which reads, Wala'a Shamaywa, Wala'a Hatwa Atha Azanam, Waya Lakwa, Bama Aitazath, Ba Sharath Labam, Harai, Wayahayawa, La'akar, Wala'a Lapanyum. All right. Verse 25. And that's what you jakes are doing, going after your own, even those so called that are in the truth, you know? They're not saying they're not saying according to what the word says, you know? Which is why the Lord put in the spirit of the prophet Isaiah to say what? If they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them, right? Yahweh Shai also said that this truth is like unto a candle that lighteth the whole house. It should not be put under a bed. They're not using the candle in the correct way, which is the truth. You don't put a candle under a damn bed. The light is supposed to be to light the whole house, meaning that's spiritual for well actually that's talking about the house of Israel, you know? Which is why King David said that the Lord has prepared a table in the midst of my enemies, before my enemies, which is his truth. You got the light. Songs of Solomon says, I will gather my myrrh with my spice, with my wine. And he said, what? Eat, oh friends, eat and be full. That's in the book of Isaiah as well. Buy bread without money. Buy the true, sell it not. The book of Proverbs. Right? So we got the table for you. We got the fruits. Which is the fruits of our labors. We got the wine, the doctrine, the honey, the understanding. It's lighting the whole room. We got the loaves. We got the like when you set up a table, you got this let's say you got this a sister that that you want to impress. So what do? You know, you prepare a table. You put some flowers and some sweet smelling odors. You know, and then you do it the right way. But you other false pastors, you're not cooking the macaroni right. You know, you're not the flowers the that you're putting out it's got bugs on them. You know, because you're not caring, right? Uh, uh you're not doing the right thing. You're bringing honey, but it's a dollar store honey. Come on now. It's not. You don't do that to. You don't do that to a sister. You know. You got to do. You got to do things in order, right? And we're gonna keep saying it till the Lord, right? Till the Lord says, says so. We keep calling you out. We're gonna keep, you know. But anyways, so it reads Wala'a Shemaywa, Wala'a Chatwa, Atha, Azanam, Wayalakwa. Or Salaki already read that. Verse 25 says, For from the day which came out your fathers from the land of Egypt, even until the day this, and I send out unto you, unto all my servants, the prophets, in the day, rising up early and being sent out. Laman Hayam Ashar Yataz Awa Abatayakam Ma Rataza Matazorium Ad Hayam Haza Wa'ashalach Al Yakam Atha Kal Abadia Ha Nabiayim Yum Hashakam Wa'ashalach. How you doing, sir?
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays to you. I hope you are good. Thank you.
Peace and quiet until I came along, right?
Not necessarily.
Have a good holiday.
You as well. Take care, okay? So it says, in the day, rising up early and being sent out, right? So ever since that day, since ever since you can remember taking your first step, like they say in the world, getting your first toy. That's how the Lord has always sent his men, right? So what do you do? What do you do with the message? Do you ignore it? Do you do something about it? Do you see the writing on the wall? Should you not have foresight when it comes to these things? What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? So that's what the Lord always has done. See, everything involves balance. The seasons, the months, the days, night, the night time, the day, hot, cold, slow, fast, beginning, end. You know? The grass sprouting, the grass uh, withering away. There's an order involved in this thing. That's in the book of Sirach. One thing is said against another in order to work according to its purpose. So you got what? You got a match, you got a fire, or you have a hammer, you got a nail. What do you do with the nail? That's you can't just take the nail and hammer it with your head or your damn pinky. No. One thing is set for for the purpose of another. You know? So who are we to question what the Lord said or what the Lord made? You would be going against your own purpose. You would be going against nature itself, which nature is the Lord's creation. How dare you? If you have that kind of mind, you know? But anyways, so verse 25 says, verse 26, and they did not hear unto me, and they did not incline unto their ear, and they hardened unto their neck for evil, or Salakia, doing more evil than their fathers, which reads, Wala'a Shemaywa Aliyah Wala'a Hatwa Ata Azanam Waya Kwashwa Ata Arapam Haraiwa Ma Abatham. So instead of Salakia, you other now you other nations, you other camps taking reproof, what do? You get mad and call us bums, the bum camp. Great Millstone is the bum camp. We're grunts. We'll take that any day. But you can't prove what we're saying is wrong. You don't know how to take correction. You're not acting on that correction. You other camps, you so-called elders. A wise man is supposed to right hear and then speak. You don't give away your position. You're not supposed to give away your you know. Verse 27 says, and thou shalt speak unto them, unto all the words these, and they will not hear unto thee, and thou shalt call unto them, and they shall not answer thee. You know? So we know you other camps, you so-called leaders, you're not gonna listen, you're not gonna okay, Salakia, I was wrong, brother. Let me correct the doctrine. And now you see they're kind of doing that. Because Bishop Nathaniel used to say Jacob's trouble's not coming, you know. Then they would change the doctrine on the hell doctrine, saying there's an imaginary red guy with a pitchfork underground in another dimension poking you, and you know, no, that's what we learned, what we knew in the world, you know. That's part of that cloak placed upon the whole earth, right? Hades, you know, the Lord of the underworld. You know, that's not what it's talking about. You got the land of the living, and then you got when you give up the spirit, your spirit goes in the heavens back to the Father, and then which they call per I forgot the name of it, where you're perpetual in it. No, not perpetual. Where Esau says that you're just not existing. You're just somewhere where. But that's not true. That's not true either. You know, hell is the grave. Hell is also a condition, a hellish condition. But anyways, so the Lord said not to be tossed to and fro like by the wind of every doctrine, because that's not possible when the Lord has given us the truth through the power of Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. So thou shalt call unto them, but they will not answer thee. So we know, you know, and the Lord is not working in secret. You know, oh, you know, well, that's the kind of energy you get when you watch these other camps. When they keep changing the doctrine, when they say, "Oh, we do teach, we know the Lord's name," but why isn't that the focal point? Why is not the charagma the focal point of your ministry? And you know, IUIC, they go into history, you know, which is, you know, there's some good they bring out some good information. ISUPK, you know, they go into the Hebrew, the laws. You know, I watched some of their videos, but I haven't seen anything that to where they're actually, you know, teaching something that an actual doctrine and something that sticks, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. Just like when you sit in a board in you're in an office meeting, you know, you're pitching a new trade tactic. You're pitching. What we're doing is we're pitching doctrine, and we're not pulling it, you know, out of nowhere. We're pulling it. We're getting it from the word. And I don't see that with these other camps. I just see what I see is gimmicks. You know, every time I see a ISUPK video, I see a damn cup full of wine. Does not Scripture say that the wine causeth many to fall? Lest you you know, not unless you forget the law, because that's not what I wanted to bring out. You know. Just like when the scriptures say a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, you know, which is what these so-called leaders are doing to their followers, putting that you'll be all right energy out there, Salakia, energy out there, Salakia. But anyways, verse 28 says, and and thou shalt say unto them, there is a nation which does not hear in the voice of the Lord their God, and they do not take reproof. It is perished faithfulness, and it is cut off from their mouth. You know, because the Lord ain't gonna say to you, you know, to you other camps, thou faithful servant, because you're not being faithful. Your followers, especially those following these men, all because you want to be in a camp, all because you want to be in the crowd. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with that because you're guilty by association. At the end of the day, the Lord is going to look at every man's work. But I'll be damned if I ever sit in a IUIC classroom knowing what they teach. I'll be damned if I ever do that. So it reads, Wa Amarath al Yaham Za Ha Gwaya Ashar La'a Shamaywa Pakwal Yahweh Alahiwa Wala'a Lakwahwa Masar Abada Ha Amana Wana Karatha Mapayaham. Verse 29 says, Cut off from your crown, which is your crown is your head, and your crown, in this case, it means hair, right? Cut off your hair, which that word Nazar actually means a crown to be separated, or, let's look at it. Strong's H 5145 Nazar, which is the word Nazar. Salakia. Trying to get situated real quick. That word is Nazar. Which reads to set apart, a Nazarite, abstractly dedication, unshorn locks, also by implication a chaplet, consecration, crown hair separation, a diadem, right? Let's look at the other words for crown. You got itar, which means wreath. Sometimes it means crown. Quad, which is the head, top of the head. So it says, and cast it away. So the Lord's saying here, it roughly says, cut off thy crown and cast it away, and lift up upon the high places, Salakia, a dirge, which is Quayana, a dirge, an elegy. And I already went over that. You can look it up yourself. GMS homework. Because they have rejected the Lord, and he has left off to the generation of his wrath, which is the wicked generation that Yahushua is speaking about, which always came and did the same thing. Always went off, right? Just like you see, Jake, they heard the truth and they're not hearkening to the Lord, to the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They're not taking heed, Because if they did, they would get some sense about themselves. All right. Ah, shit. Slovakia. Bear with me 1 second. The generation, right, of the Lord's wrath, right? The wicked generation, which seek a sign, right? If the Lord popped up all of a sudden, you know, which is why the Lord had to bring the message first, and then His judgment. Because if the judgment just came and you know there wasn't any warning, and the Lord just showed up, you Jakes would be you know wanting an explanation, and the Lord, He don't have time for all that. He's not going to give you no explanation. Well, he's doing there's no he doesn't need to explain His work, because it's already been laid out what should happen, what should come to pass, right? So that's what you're going to have, Jake. You know, hypothetically speaking, in that day, if he were to just you know show up, and there wasn't no preaching of the word, and the Lord just showed up, well, let me see your, let me prove you're the Most High, you know. But you Jakes are going to see in that day, you know. And you're given no sign except the sign of the prophet Jonah, like Yahushua said. This wicked generation shall be given no sign but the sign of the prophet Jonah, which is the sign of the prophets, of the word going out. Because that's the main uh aspect of the ministry. It's the warning. It's not the law is gonna save you. It's not keeping 100% the laws. It's not relying 100% on grace. It's not, oh, I know the name of the Lord and that's it. No, it's what the Lord said. He said particular events would take place. He said that it would go down in this manner. And he said 2/3 will be cut off and die, because you're going to take that charagma. You're going to, and then you're going to look up and you're going to see the missiles, and the Lord is going to destroy you because you were wicked. Right? Just like the nations, right? You know, like Esau, right? And we're not concerned. We're not concerned with you nations. We're not concerned with Esau. We're trying to get Jake to see the truth, and to seek the Lord while he still may be found. That's it. So the Lord said, cut thy crown and cast it away. Because that's when you cut off, right? Which is a Hebrew custom, Hebraic custom. When you mourn the death of a loved one, you shave your hair. Sometimes Jake would rip his hair out, put on sackcloth, shave your beard. It's an act of mourning, right? Sometimes it's an act of shame, like when the Ammonites cut off they shaved half of King David's man's beard, and they trimmed their garment to went up so that it would go to the buttocks, which is a form of shame, right? Just like Deuteronomy chapter 20, when you would take a woman captive back in ancient days, that's not something you would do now. Just like the grape doctrine, this particular, or putting Moses to death. We're not going to do that because we can't do that. Is it lawful? Yes, but there's particular things that if we do it today, Esau would put us under the damn jail. You know? So the Lord said, cut off thy crown, meaning what? Thou shalt go into captivity, you lose your heritage, right? Your customs, right? Cast it away, lift up lamentation. Because the Lord has forsaken the generation of his wrath, right? Which was talking about back then, and it applies to today as well, right? When the Jews went into captivity, the southern kingdom, into the Babylonian captivity, the beginning of various captivities that they would go into, because they had rejected Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 20, verse 30. Which reads, because they have done the sons of Judah evil in my eyes, saith the Lord, placing their detestable things in the house, which is called my name upon it, to defile it. Which reads, Kaya Ashwa Banya Yahawada Harai Ba Ayanya Naam Yahawah Shamwa Shakwatazai Yaham Babayath Ashar Na Kwara'a Shamya Aliwa Latama'awa. And it built the high places of Topeth, which is in the valley of Hinnom, which is known by interpretation as the valley of the son of Naught, or the sons of Naught, because that's where the Jews would take their children and make them pass through the fire to Molech. You know? So they have built in the high places of Topeth, and Topeth is a synonym for the Japhites, which is where you get Japheth means beauty in Hebrew, but Topeth is it's like a play on words, like Judah, which is Yahawada, which means the Lord has praised, or the Lord has lauded, right? You'll notice throughout the various tribes and their names and the other nations, there's a play on words, because the name back then represented who you were. They came a reputation with what you were named, you know? Like you have ancient Nordic times they would call names like um Graphon, the son of the destroyer, because that was one bad effer, you know, or tar or I don't know. But Topeth actually means which is the path, which means good for nothing, because there was particular sections in Jerusalem where they would burn trash and and perform child sacrifices and stuff like that, you know. So that's why it was called Topeth. And it says, in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn unto their sons and unto their daughters in the fire which I did not command, and it did not ascend up unto my heart. Or it did, as in it didn't come to mind. So it reads Wa Bamwa, Bamath, Hathapath, Ashar, Bagayaa, Ban Hanam, Lasharap, Atha, Banyahum, Wa Atha, Banath Yahum, Baash, Ashar, La'a, Tazayathya, Wala'a, Eltha, Al Labya. Labya, Lord. You know? We love the Lord because we love his work. We love, when we suffer, uh, we say Tawada Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you know? And it's nothing new that men have not went through. The prophets in times past, there's accounts of them asking the Lord to kill them. We don't do that, We're not saying we're the prophets. We're not, like I said, we're not taking no titles, We want the belt when it's time to get the belt, which is a deliverance, that crown of life. And that day shall be said that a prophet had been amongst them. If our elders and apostles are really the ones teaching the truth, are they? Are they not? That's not up to us to even make. We're not here to make those type of claims. Verse 32, Jeremiah 7 and 32. Salakia. Jeremiah 7:32 says, "For so, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, and they shall not say any more, Topeth, and the valley of the son of Hinnom, or Salakia, and they shall not say any more Topeth and the valley of Hinnom, because, lo, it shall be the valley of slaughter, and they shall be buried in Topeth till there be no place." Then that's in the book of Ezekiel, right? Second address, right? They left off their fight, and they followed him that was in the heavens, shortly paraphrasing. So the armies of the earth are going to see Hamashiach Yahushua return. Then they're going to follow the chariots, which are the modern day UFOs, UAPs, the holy angels, you know, they're going to follow the chariots, and they're going to be destroyed in the Valley of Decision. Sometimes it's called the Valley of Decision, the Mountain of Troops, right? Because these they're going to take place as the Lord said they would. These particular events, you know. And it says in Ezekiel, they shall acquire some for continual labor to bury those that perish. Now you know that could be literal, but you know, in the book of Second Esdras, it says that Yahushai, that there was a tempest, mixed fire came out of his mouth, meaning out of the chariot, and consumed all the armies. So it might just be dust. It might just be, you know, we might have to employ. I mean, we're going to, like it says, employ some you heathens, maybe just to clean up the damn mess from or the dust from you nations, right? But it says what it says, you know. So it says lakan hana yam yam ba'ayam na'am Yahweh wala'a ya amar awad hatapath wa kaya'a ban hanam kaya I'm kaya kaya ha haraga wa kwabarwa bathapath ma'ayan makwam. Verse 33, and it shall be the carcasses of the people this for meat unto the fowls of the heavens and the beasts of the earth, and they shall not be frayed away. You know, like they say in the world, you're dead meat. You know, the Lord's gonna get you. The Lord's gonna get you. So it says, Wahayatha Nabalath Ha'im Hazah La Ma'akal La'ap Ha Shemayim Wala Bahamath Ha Ratazah Wa Ayan Machoryad. Let's look at that word Harad. Reminds me of Herod, you know, that name Herod. To shudder with terror, to fear, to fray away, to quake, to tremble, you know, to be frightened, to tremble. Jeremiah 7:34. You know, so we're not giving you gimmicks. Great Millstone, starting with our apostle Tahar and on down. You know, they're not about no gimmicks. You know, and we're not gonna follow suit like these other camps with your gimmicks. We're gonna follow the righteous order, right? No confusion, no gimmicks, right? Like our elders had taught us. So it says, and I will cause to cease from the cities of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem the voice of rejoicing and the voice of mirth, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, because will be desolate unto desolation shall be the land. And that's what the Lord did. Cast off northern kingdom first and then southern kingdom. Right? Now you got you Hispanic tribes bugged out praying to white Jesus Christ. You got Jake goddamn in Haiti which are the Levites, goddamn killing chickens and doing voodoo and all kind of madness. You know, and that reminds me of like what the small hats do. They'll sit there and smash chickens and you know, and call that keeping the law. You know, because there's no temple. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing too. That's why that food that you eat, and how everything's defiled at the end of the day. But you know, that's why that's and there's no way to go around that because this isn't our rulership. But that's why you got you know Ishmael, you know, preparing it his own way, and we no who knows what they do as well. They might be doing it the right way or not. That's not for me to speak on. You know, but when you go to the market, you buy a chicken. You don't know, how they killed it, how it was prepared. If they popped it or not, or you know, because I sometimes I watch some of these videos and they'll show these cows being prepared for slaughter, and they just like tip them over, or I don't know. They have this machine, and it's just craziness. Oh yeah, it was a video where uh you know what I'm talking about. We're not gonna go into all that because that's not really doesn't have to do with the lesson. But God knows what they're doing to your food before you eat it or how it's prepared. But that's neither here nor there. So it says, and I will cause the seas from the cities of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem, the voice of rejoicing, the voice or Salaki, I already read that. Baha Shabbatiyah, Ma'aryah, Yahawada, Wama Hatazath, Yerushalayim, Qual Shashan, Waqual Shamacha, Qual Kathan, Waqual Kala, Kaya, La Harabah, Tahaya, Ha Ratazah. Right? So with that, that's pretty much it. Um, this is Jeremiah chapter 7, right? Part 2, going into the Hebrew. It's Brother Yatazadak, hero of Israel. And as always, Lord willing, you were edified, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Mill Stone. Dwadi Yahweh, Dwadi Yahweh Shai, Dwadi Yahweh, Dwadi Yahweh Shai, Dwadi Yahweh, Dwadi Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Kakwadash. Shalom, Lord willing, you were edified. To you sincere Akim and Akwath, Abad Babal, Shalom.